What is up, guys? It's me, Jacob, your personal rank 1 healer with you again, and today I'll be showing you some Resto Shaman games from day 1 of the season, in which I pushed to 2100 CR with my friend Rio on Warrior. I'll put his Twitch link and mine as well in the description below the video, and there will also be a link to the VOD from which these games are from, so you guys can check out the entire day of queuing. This was probably about a 7 to 8 hour queue session from 0 to 2100 CR on day 1. I'm just going to pull out some games from that session. I'm going to show it to you guys, commentate over it, explain to you what I'm thinking and doing in the games. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so quickly, before we get into these games, these will be the talents that I'm playing versus every team in this video, just so you guys know. Alright, so first things first, we're just going to go in, drop a root, maybe get the feral out. They're going to set up with the bash on me. They can't get the sheep because we had the mage in a stun. The mage alter times. He used it quickly after to go back to full HP. Here, I use my Earth Ellie to keep the mage over in pressure. He Ring of Frost my Earth Ellie, but I targeted it and dispelled it. The feral already uses bark skin. We have double flame shock up on everybody here. Just going to be doing as much damage as we possibly can, while Earth Ellie is just cleaving both of them. It's a double DPS team, so the more pressure you can put on them, the better, so that they can't put pressure on you. They're just scared, trying to heal and reset. Just keeping the flame shocks up. The mage is Night Fae blinking away. Rio is hitting the feral. The feral starts the line. I just kick his regrowth there behind the pillar. The mage is popping combust here. Druid's casting cyclone on me off that stun, but Rio is able to stop it. The mage still has combust going, but it wasn't a good setup by them. I just ground the end of that combust, kick the feral again on the heel behind the pillar, reapply flame shot, get some damage in where I can. Just gonna move around. We got ice block from the mage. Mage uses Alter Time here. Rio is in a Ring of Frost. I dispel him, kick the Cyclone on myself. We get Dragon's Breath here. Rio is able to double fear them and stop the go. I don't get polymorphed. We ground this next poly. We still have some good Flame Shock pressure with some Lava Burst procs. Here, it looks like they're going to get a bad polymorph on me. I didn't have Wind Shear or Grounding Totem. I poked out, so they were able to cast, but Rio gets a stun on the mage. Slows down some of their go. He banners the re-CC, or tries to war banner the re-CC, but they kill it. They end up forcing our parry from Rio, die by the sword. He's going to live, though. I don't have to trinket. I just kick that Cyclone. We're going to continue the pressure, get my Flame Shocks back up. I dispel the polymorph off of Rio, root the mage, fake the CS here, get a Hex on the mage. The feral has to run over to dispel the mage, kick the next polymorph. Just really don't want to be getting CC'd here for free at all. We drop our Resonator trinkets on the mage here inside of the Kyrian stun. It procs his Cauterize, the double Resonate trinket on day 1. Before it was nerfed is actually super strong. So we kill him, we kill the seed, we finish off the game. And that was kind of a debut into the Resonator trinkets on day 1 of the season. They were pretty broken. They still are all right, but they were hitting like a lot harder before the nerfs. They actually nerfed it, I think, the night of the first day of the season. So sometimes we'll find ourselves going for kills in these videos with the Resonator trinkets, as you'll see, comboed with that Warrior Kyrian stun, which you can still do, even though it's nerfed with the Resonators, but it's not going to be as strong as they can't hit like 55Ks anymore like they could on day 1. But either way, let's get into the next game. Alright, so this next game in the series is going to be versus Resto Shaman, Demon Hunter. So right now, Demon Hunters do a ton of damage for no reason at all. They are just super overtuned and they pump. So we played a lot of Demon Hunters in the beginning. I still do, even a week later. It's not like anything much has changed. Here we get a really fat Resonator go, and surprise, surprise, we one-shot the Demon Hunter. I felt like I just should show you guys this. It's kind of funny. This is what the Resonator trinkets can do. As you can see with the setup here, we stun the Demon Hunter. We drop double Resonator trinket on him. I'm just going to drop another calf stun to restun him in it. Both the Resonator trinkets go off, and he's toast. So, yeah, I'll just lower my camera here so you can see what I looked like in this game. As you can see, I was just like, holy crap, here we go. But I just wanted to show you all that. I'll get into the next game. There's not going to be any random one-shots like that in the rest of the video. Alright, boys, in this next game, it's going to be Holy Priest Survival Hunter. So here, you're really going to be trying to use your groundings, your fleshcrafts, to try to immune the pet stun or the freezing traps, or maybe even chastise or fear. You can try to pre-trigger some fears. Just going to be using my fleshcraft out the gate to try to prolong their opener, because I know the hunter's going to try to stun trap me. So there's potential to get his stun there, but I didn't get it. He just waited, and then he CC'd me, or tried to. And then here we're going to just be going on the hunter. We don't want to use our warrior Kyrian on the hunter just yet, because he still has feigned death. He can just walk out of it. So that would be an issue if we just sent the Kyrian there and he just feigns out of it. Here we get the feigned death from the hunter. I'm just going to drop a healing tide because I feel like some CC is coming. War banners. We drop our double resonator go here on the hunter, and since he can't feign death out of that Kyrian, it almost procs the guardian that the Holy Priest put on the hunter there. Gives us a decent amount of pressure. We're just instantly swapping to the priest. So what I'm thinking is I want to try to hex the hunter there. He throws a slow trap at me. I dropped my grounding totem. He was trying to bait my grounding totem, so good on him. I did press my grounding. Now he can come in and try to trap me without the grounding. He just gets it. He starts popping his cooldowns, the survival hunter. We disarm the hunter cooldowns. The priest is coming in to stun fear me off of that. I'm just going to go ahead and pre-trigger it because he left a gap in between the CCs, so I was able to trigger the fear. They steel trap Rio here. I'm just going to Earth Ellie the healer. We're going to start getting some pressure. I start to hex the hunter. We get feign death from the hunter. I can try to hex him again now that he doesn't have a feign death. He ports or grapples in and tries to kick it, so I have to cancel my cast. He gets a freezing trap since I don't have grounding or fleshcraft. Here I'm in crowd control. I noticed that they were maledicting Rio, so I trinket dispelled him to stop their pressure. Felt like a valuable trinket there. They're Chimera stinging me, as you can see. I'm going to get silenced here in 1 second, so I use Aura Mastery to immune the Chimera sting from the hunter, and I also use the Aura Mastery to get the hex on the hunter. Cap stun the priest there off of the Kyrian stun. Here, I told Ria that I messed up the stun DRs, but, you know, stuff happens. We Stormbolt here. DR'd on accident. It's not very good. We both overlap our kicks on that cast as well on the priest, which also isn't very good. But either way, Dwayne the Rock Johnson, otherwise called Earth Ellie, is still pumping the priest. The hunter's going for crowd control on me. I dropped a grounding, but they killed it. He still has freezing trap available for me. We kick the priest there. I still have a kick as well, but it looks like the priest will go down there. He's playing the res trinket or the res Lego though, so he's going to come back to life. We're going to have to kill him again. Just going to be stabilizing. Rio used his parry there. I hex the hunter, which can't be dispelled by a priest, so he has to trinket. We stun the priest as soon as he gets out of his whatever that's called whenever he comes back to life. He trinkets that stun in the Kyrian. We double resonate here on the priest, kick the mind games. Resonator trinket's about to explode, and he goes down in the Kyrian. So, yep, there were some pretty good resonators there. Probably not the main reason we won, but it definitely helped us get some pressure. Had to kill the priest twice. Nothing new there. I'm sure a lot of you guys are used to that. Either way, it's a pretty good game. We'll be getting into the next one shortly here, as soon as this hunter goes down. Alright, so this next game, we have a matchup that we were struggling with a lot during that day. These guys definitely had a good win-loss ratio versus us. The Demon Hunter damage was just wild. He's just out-pumping my warrior every game by a lot, and I don't think it's my warrior's fault. I think Demon Hunters just do the most. Anyways, in the opener, I'm going to get sapped up here. We're going to Kyrian stun the DH, force the blur. Something to note in this matchup is that they have no hex dispel, so I can either hex the Demon Hunter or the priest. Whenever I can, I'm going to try to be doing that. They'll be trying to line of sight it. The Demon Hunter's popping cooldowns. Rio disarms the Metamorphosis. I used Healing Tide there. The Demon Hunter moves over to kill my Healing Tide. They PI'd the Demon Hunter, but I purged it off instantaneously to get that haste off of him, relieve some pressure from my team. I just hexed the Demon Hunter off of that. He trinkets it. I think he could have walked into my Earth Ellie to break it, but he trinketed it anyway. Rio is just going to parry here since they're pumping big damage. I kick the healer, get a Lava Burst out, try to keep my Flame Shocks up as best as I can. Going to be using my Earth Ellie just to keep the pressure super high. They're just stacked up while they're on my warrior behind the pillar. We Kyrian, the priest fades out of it, the Demon Hunter blurs, the Demon Hunter's still stuck in the Kyrian, I get stunned. We Stormbolt the Demon Hunter, he has no trinket, no blur, we can get good pressure on him here. He doesn't have that blur to mitigate all of our damage. He's going to be forced to kite around a bit. I'm just stuck in this fear here. Flame Shock the Demon Hunter. Keep the Flame Shock up as much as possible so that I get as many Lava Bursts as I can. Here they're pumping some big damage. Need to be careful. I'm just going to Ascendance here for that insta heal. I wouldn't have had to Ascendance, but I didn't know we were about to fear the Demon Hunter. I just take advantage of the fear to hex the Demon Hunter off. And then I can root him in place behind the pillar. Just going to Wind Shear the healer, get some Lava Bursts out. Notice the healer is at about 60 to 70% health by the time she hits the ground. That's kind of what I was trying to do there, just help start some pressure off for my warrior whenever she hits the ground. Keeping my Flame Shocks up at all times. I get stunned here. I'm just going to Aura Mastery Fleshcraft just to immune some damage. And also I can hex the Demon Hunter off of my Fleshcraft because I have that immunity for a couple seconds right after the Fleshcraft, as well as the Aura Mastery still. So I don't have to worry about getting kicked or stunned or incapped on my Hex cast. We're just going to be continuing this huge pressure. I cap stun the Priest Trinket there, keep my Flame Shocks up. I Tremor the Fear here as she's running in to fear me. Going to try to get a Lava Burst out, and she goes down. So this game is was super tough, or this matchup was super tough. We lost to them a lot. We didn't get too many wins on them. If you want to see the other series outside of this video, the entire VOD from the entire day is posted. Again, I'll leave the link to that VOD in the description below, and you guys can check out all the games from that entire day if you want. But this is 2300 MMR. On day 1 of the season. This is probably equivalent to like 26 or 2700 last season towards the end. So some pretty high rated games to get you guys going with the new season and a new video. So yeah. Alright boys, in this last video it'll be against the Rogue Mage composition that everyone dreads. Except for us, of course, because we will be taking these guys out. Spoiler alert, this will be the 2100 game to finish up the video. Just to give you guys some closure, you can see the duelist that we raked in after about 7 hours of queuing 2v2 arena together against all rank 1s and BlizzCon players. Here they go with the opener. Shadowblades combust all their cooldowns. I'm just going to use my Ascendance out of that, grounding totem the rest of the combust damage. Rio double feared them and they trinketed as well. We get a stun go onto the Mage here in the Kyrian. Going to be dropping Resonators there as well. We get really good pressure. I already have Dwayne The Rock Johnson chasing the Mage down. The Rogue is going for a re-stealth with that Cloak of Shadows. I keep him out of stealth with Dwayne The Rock Johnson and a Flame Shock on the Rogue. We disarm the Rogue here, so that way he can't set up a cheap shot or a kidney. It prolongs them from doing a go. Notice as soon as his disarm's over, he did the go. Stuns us both up. I was able to thankfully kick the Mage here before I got stunned, but he's going to probably get this ring off anyway. Yes, he does. They're maledicting Rio. I'm forced to trinket this. They've already blinded, so I don't have to worry about getting blinded on my trinket. So I just trinket that. We get our Earth Shield back on Rio. I dispel Earth Ellie, even though it was probably about to end anyway. What probably wasn't a reason to do that. We Blade Storm before the Rogue can kidney shot Rio again. He's again just prolonging that Rogue Mage go by either Blade Storming or disarming the Rogue right before the Rogue wants to go. Here they Dragon's Breath Rio into the Sheep, kidney me. I'm just spamming Spirit Link off this, but it looked like Rio reflected the poly and I'd be okay, so I just didn't press Spirit Link. I'm just going to Aura Mastery, top myself, get some damage off, trying to purge this Alter Time off the Mage. We got the Alter Time off of him. Just going to drop a random cap stun here in case the Rogue walks into it. The Mage kills it. I dispel the root off of Rio, kick the Ring of Frost. I should have maybe pre-earthened this go. It looks like they're not on the same page here. The Mage sheeping me while the Rogue's trying to go me. We double fear them. The Rogue has no trinket, so I just root him into a Hex off that. Kick the Mage there on the Polymorph, casting some Lava Bursts while he's in that Stormbolt. We proc the Cauterize onto him. Just Frost Shocking to get some extra damage. He goes down, we kill the Seed, and it's just this Rogue left. And that's the 2100, as you guys could see. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to try to get back into the YouTube stuff. I have some new videos on Holy Priest and Resto Druid coming as well. I hit 2100 on them in the next 2 or 3 days after this video. Just going for 2100 on all the healers in that first week. Try to give you guys some content on all the healers. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed once again. It's good to be making videos again. Going to be streaming every day. Probably closer to 6 days a week. I'll probably take a break every now and then. Streaming anywhere from 4 to 8 hours every day between most likely 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Central US time. So if you guys want to come hang out, ask me any questions, watch me play these games live, you can request videos. Just to shout out the Patreon real quick, I'll leave a link to the Patreon below if you guys want to support that way. You can ask me, Patreon supporters can ask me if for any types of videos. I've made purge guides, keybind guides, different types of guides for the Patreon supporters. So also just like and subscribe the video, please. I would really appreciate it if you like the channel and the content. Helps me out a ton if you guys like and subscribe. And that's pretty much it. Follow the stream. The links will be down below for me and Rio. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. I hope you have a really good rest of your day or night, wherever you are in the world, and take it easy. Peace.